so funny? I can't hear anything. Yeah, what the- and my mic is. That's kind of weird. Hey, hey.
All right. Happy Monday, it's your boy Kevin Thorne. You have tuned in to the Wellness Architect Show with my lovely co host, Lotus Riche. It's Monday, January 13th, 2020, and it's a rainy Monday evening in ATL, but it's a nice warm weather though, but it's raining, been raining all weekend. I
Mm.
have We're gonna have a good show. We got a little curveball. We had a little slight mishap with our guests, but you got me and Lotus all night long, so it's gonna be a good show regardless. Before I throw it to Lotus to do her part, I have an announcement to make. Um, First week of February, one of the other guys who were one of the co-authors of 20 Beautiful Men will be in the ATL. Hopefully, he will come by and do the show. And when he's doing the show, we're going to talk about the documentary that he's doing. And he's doing a documentary on obesity. And with that, he's going to do my show. And in turn, I'm going to be in his documentary about obesity. And I got my lovely um, reoccurring co-host, Miss Erica Conklin. She will
Yes.
be in the documentary as well. So the documentary should be shot. We're gonna shoot our portion in February, and the documentary should come out sometime in 2020. So stay tuned. As I get more information about me and Erica, I will let you guys know. But keep a lookout and support us as we do it. With that being
Awesome.
said,
Awesome.
thank you. With that being said, Lotus Riche.
Hey, Kevin, good to see you tonight. As always, it's just great to be here. And thank you for our guest that's joining us. For those of you that's coming in, come on in, come on in, join us, come on in, come on in. And once you get here, let us know that you're here. Just put down in the comments, put that you're here. I am here, because we're always happy to have you here. So today we want to start off with the word of the day. Is also going to be a part of our subject matter. And the word is core. Now, I just want you to think for a minute what that word core means. So, those of you that's coming, come on in, come on in. That's right, join us, come on in. The word is core. And we're going to go right to Webster. I like to go there so we can get the full meaning and understanding of the word. Webster says that it is a central and often foundational part, usually distinct from the enveloping part by a difference in nature. And then the second definition that it gives us is that it's basic, essential, or enduring part as of an individual, class, or entity. So that's what core means. And core also is a core area of the body. It is the midsection of the body that we also associate it with, and it involves all of your muscles in that area, including the front, the back, and the sides. The upper and lower, of course. And strengthening one's core means building up your core muscles, front, back, and sides and front, which includes, like I said, the top and the bottom. So, our question to you today is, do you know your core? And our suggestion today to you as the word of the day is, your core can support you and it can sustain you. But have you identified your core? Do you know what your core is? And in 2020, we challenge you to find out what your core is. Reason why? Because it's essential. So, what I want to talk to you about today is that core. So, Kevin, I know you do a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
that deal with the body.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that you love to eat right.
Mm-hmm.
We know that you also you're a spin instructor.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you say is some of the primary things that you teach your people when you talk about strengthening their core?
With diet's one, I think a lot of times we focus on the exercises, which is like all the exercises, the leg raises, the
Right.
sit-ups, and the crunches. But you can do that all day long. But if you don't get the diet right, you won't see the muscles and the strengthening of the core like you really need to see.
Right, right, right. And so that's cool. So what we're going to do tonight, folks, is we're going to kind of liken this core to, let's say, to your stomach. So let's just use the stomach as a metaphor of your
Mm-hmm.
core. So when we talk about who is your core, we want to talk about who supports your core objectives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So front, the front top, okay, of your core, of your stomach, okay, because we're using it as a metaphor. The top of your stomach represents the top people who may be above you either at work, who may be in your family as those who guide the family. Okay, it could be your grandmother, it could be your father, it can be whoever the matriarch of the family is. So that would be the front top above you core. And even at your job, we might be talking about your manager, or you could be the manager or supervisor, or you may be the business owner. So that person would be atop of you, but they would be a part of your core. They would be a supporter of you. And then we want to beg the question, okay, I get it now. It could be a matriarch, it could be my boss, or what have you. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, do you have that support from the top? Because that is a part of your core. And so let's talk about the front core as a metaphor of your
Mm-hmm.
stomach below you. So below you, if you are the supervisor, or if you are an employee, but you have subordinates below you, or if you are a part of the family, and we all are a part of a family, maybe we have our younger sisters, brothers, nieces, nephews, cousins, and even adopted family members that we're utilized that we have in our family that we're looking for um, kind of feedback when we give them messages, and they are also looking back for feedback and guidance from us. So they may be in that bottom half, that front below section, okay, but they are still our core. And then the sides, who do you have walking beside you as you walk your daily journey?
Mm-hmm.
Are they are they really walking beside you? Are they walking close to you? Or when a bump in the road happens, are they moving away from you? And then who has your back? Who has your back? That's something that we need to know. So, Kevin,
Mm-hmm.
we've kind of laid it out for everybody.
Right.
We've kind of used the stomach as the metaphor because we know that you are the spin doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So we're asking our folks where are their core people, and
Uh-huh.
how do they identify their core people? What would you say, Kev?
Um, you know what? That's a good question. I will use myself as an example. I think from above my head, for me, would be my father,
Mm,
um, because I love my mom, but for me as a man, he set the tone
mm,
of who I am as a man, how I think, how I be, and even in my spiritual journey, even my
yes.
holistic journey. He
Mm-hmm.
set the tone for all that. So then, therefore, he'll be the person I look to because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be who I am at this present moment. Below me would be my brother, and
Awesome.
because it's pretty much the same, even though we're polar opposites and personality traits, but the essence of who I am as a man, he's the same. So whatever I'm going through, he understands it because we're similar as being men.
Yes.
Um, on the sides of me, um, one would be Bruce. Those
Yes.
who
Mm-hmm.
met us, I met him at the men's round table.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he gets it. He understands my journey, and I know for a fact that he's not going. He's going to be there with me, And if something happens, he's not gonna go to the side. He's gonna stand right there by my side.
Right.
Um, the other on the other side, it would be a friend of mine by the name of Janita. She's like a sister to me,
Mhm.
so she understands my vision. She's like one of my
Yes.
biggest supporters,
Mhm.
and wherever I go through, she's right there. And
Awesome.
so yeah, that's But I just think it don't. It just for me is people that my back.
Your back.
Who
Exactly. You must be reading my mind because
Yeah,
I was
my
asking that
back.
question.
My back is my mom.
Hmm.
Because wherever I know, she's gonna be there regardless. She may not always understand the journey, but wherever I go through, she's right there. So she's gonna be the
Yes.
ultimate support system. So you know, you know, as you start to do different things, you deep that support system. And I know, like my dad to this day still talks about the men roundtable discussion. So therefore, that makes me feel proud that I could send him an email with the videos and he'll actually watch them and then he will share it to his people to help elevate me. And so I just think that's what everybody needs. They need that support system that's going to help them in the journey and elevate. And so, because it's gonna be days, it's gonna be hard, and you might want to give up. But if you get that good core around you, it'll help you through. What about you, ma'am?
Awesome. So awesome. Well, I'm very family oriented,
Uh
and
huh.
my family, I have the core part of my family and I have my extended family, and I'm very close to many people in my family. So when I say specific people, there may be a conglomerate of people who do those functions for me. uh, since my father is no longer with us, he is not the physical part of it anymore, but he is definitely the spiritual part of it, because I continue to hear his voice when I endeavor to do tasks. And he helped me to understand that no one knows everything about anything. And it's essential that we push forward in whatever dream that we're aspiring for.
Mm-hmm.
So from above, I would say a spiritual guide is my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe that I have other spiritual guides that I've never known in this life of physicality,
Mm-hmm.
like Napoleon Hill and other great people that I have become accustomed to leaning on
Mm-hmm.
for guidance in this life. So above me are those who have gone on before me, even Maya Angelou, who has gone on before me, even Eartha Kitt, people like that who have made a stand in this life and have made a significant difference, not through just their talk, but their behavior, because they were a beacon of hope in a dark place and they brought a lot of us to light,
Right.
uh, just like Harriet Tubman. So my above me, and of course, God, my above me kind of surpasses sometimes my own imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And my below is my sister and my brother, because a lot of times I look at how I live my life and how I can be an example to them. Now, my sister's older than me,
Mm-hmm.
but I say below because she is a part of the foundation from where I came from. Because when I was a little girl, my sister, she took me everywhere with her. And if I had fears, and sometimes at night when I was scared of the dark, I would sneak into her room and get in her bed. A lot of times she would send me back to my own room, like, get out of here, go back to your own room. But the next morning, she would wake up and I would be sleeping with her with my feet in her face or her butt on my head or something like
Right.
that. But you know, my sister has always helped to guide me and she's always supported me, and my brother as well. He's the younger of us all, and he has always been that challenge point that challenges me to always kind of go a step ahead and be better than the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And he always challenges me to reach back. Also, I have some magnificent cousins. My cousins are amazing. My cousin Rico, she's phenomenal. She's taught me the lessons of how to put yourself first and stay focused on your goal.
Right.
She taught me that when people are gravitating to you and are pulling you every way, but you have your own goal, she showed me that you have to stay focused on your goal so you can achieve what you need to achieve. So then you can help everybody else. Because the fact is that if you're depleted, then how can you help anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
And I have other cousins, my cousin in law, Sean, Barbie. Um, whether she knows it or not, she is really a strong part of my life. And I watch her as she makes her moves and the inspiration she gives to the world. And then on the side of me, I have people like Dr. Brooks, Dr. Willis, um, Angela Eltine, who is both my side and my back. I have just a plethora of people, and of course you,
Mm-hmm.
because we've started walking this journey, and a lot of times people don't understand. We might have nights like tonight where our guest is stuck in traffic or they got stuck at work or whatever, and we still have to bring the inspiration to the nation and still give them a message. So of course I have Dashina McClendon and other people who have really seeded into me, and most of my teachers, and most of the people who have really said, I'm going to walk this journey with you. Or when I felt like I was falling, those people came to pick me up. And of course, my life's partner who continues to support me in every shape, form, and fashion, because you have to have somebody there. And then who's got my back? My mom. My mom has my back. My mom. She supports me when I'm weak, when I'm strong. There's been things that has happened in my life where it devastated me, but my mom helped me to know that I can't. It's okay to fall down, but I can't stay down. And then a lady named Miss Nelson, Magdalene Nelson. She's like another mother to me. And Patricia Kendrick out of California. They're all mothers, additional mothers to me because they've always tried to help guide me and
Mm-hmm.
push me forward and support me no matter what's going on. And everybody don't always agree with what you do, or they may say, well, why are you doing this? Or they might question, but they're always there to support you
Right.
and reassure you. So those are my folks. And it's great to be able to identify, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
So how hard was it for you to identify those people, and had you ever really had to stop and identify them before?
Um, no, I never had to stop and actually think about and identify them because I think it's just so natural for me to rely on those people that I know that if I need certain things
Mm-hmm.
or just a certain conversation, I know who I want to call at that moment.
Right.
Um, so I never had to like really think about it per se to like
Right.
verbalize it, but it's natural for me to know who I want to talk to, who I know I can rely on at any given moment. So yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So
but
so
it's really
so
good to make me actually verbalize it though.
Right. So those of you that are here with us, thank you so much. Those of you that's just joining us, please come on in. Please come on in. Angela, hi, how you doing? Larry, hi, how you doing? It's good to see you. And Nicole Reynolds, hey, how you doing? Great to have you with us tonight. So those of you that's still coming in that we can't see on our page, I want you to come on in and chime in. We appreciate you being here. Please let us know that you're here. Those of you that have not said you're here, please put in there, hey, I'm here. I like the way many of you have put I am here. Thank you so much, or said even, oh yeah. So thank you so much. We want to ask some of you that's out there, name one person. You can put your grandmother, your father, or somebody like that. Put down below, who is your support from above? Who is your
Mm-hmm.
support from above? So just go ahead and write that in because we like to know as we continue to move on. We have one input from Angela. She said, if we don't have friends, family, or coworkers, who can support us? Who can we turn to? What are alternatives? So I'm gonna toss that first part of that to you, Ken.
Wow, that's a good question. That's a good question. If you don't have friends, family, or coworkers to turn to, who to support you, who you turn to? Um, well, I'm a firm believer as you walk in the journey that you're going to attract the people that God or the universe or whatever you believe in is going to attract you to those people that He wants you to be aligned with and can be that support system for you as you go through this journey. A lot of
Yes.
times, you know, and this journey that we all are doing, especially you and I, you know, even if I use you,
Hmm.
you were someone that God brought to me,
Hmm.
and we connected via doing my show a couple of times, and then we both went our own separate ways. Life happened, but then it brought it right back. So I
Right.
would say, if that person is walking in their journey and working in their purpose, that
Hmm.
God and the universe will give you the people that you need. That's going to
Yes.
help you be your front, side, back, and everything else in this journey. What's your
Right.
thoughts?
You, you know, and also to kind of uh, add to that, for the person that answered the question, I was watching something by an influencer called Trinius Henderson, and he talked about the fact that oftentimes, a lot of times, people that support us the most are perfect strangers,
Mm-hmm.
especially those who are influencers,
Mm-hmm.
who have television shows, who are on YouTube and things like that. A lot of times, it's the strangers that support us the most, because a lot of times they identify with the plight that we may be going through, or just some of
Mm-hmm.
our experiences or our endeavors, and they're trying to endeavor the same thing. So they support us. They'll buy our merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
They'll buy our, like our clothes, our books, the merchandise. They will also tune into our shows every week, every day, however often we're before the public. And the fact of the matter is sometimes when you don't have friends or family or even coworkers, because you may work for yourself, um, or you may be in a position where you don't have to work at all, sometimes it's a perfect stranger.
Yep.
Like for me, one of the core people that I have is my mailman. When I get things that that come in the mail that I really need, a lot of times it can be my mailman, and then it could be an author, because this person right here, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, I lean on Napoleon Hill, okay, because he has great insight. Or it can also be a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes our music carries us through, and
Mm-hmm.
we lean on our music. Like, how many of you guys listen to Al Green, Shirley Caesar, some of the greatest rappers in the world? How many of you listen to them and you've leaned on their music, and their music has brought you through difficult times?
Right.
So, like Kevin said, there are options. Now, they may not be family options,
Mm-hmm.
but there are options in this world, and I'm just grateful for those
Yeah,
options.
and to piggyback what you said, that is true. As you do the shows and you write the books and all that kind of stuff, a lot of times your biggest supporters are people that you don't know physically.
Exactly.
They begin to follow you on social media and all
Yep.
that, and they are the ones that's promoting your show. They buying your books and all that kind of stuff, and that is
Yes.
very true. People I have not physically I've never met, but they are on
Right.
Facebook, but they have bought my books and all that kind of stuff. And so, that's true. I just feel that's part of you just attracting the people that's to you that want to understand your plight and understand what your intentions are, and they want to support that and be part of your tribe. And so that's what I think too.
Right. So we have someone that chimed in. We asked folks that's coming in, come on in. Those of you that's trying to join us, please come on in. We're happy to have you. We asked, we're talking about core, and knowing your core, and what is your core objectives for 2020. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go, but we want to stop and take a moment, because one of our guests talked about who her core is, and she said that parents and work leaderships are always available to support her, and they are at the top of her support list.
Okay.
So thank you, Angie, for chiming in. And she also says, so true, followers and fans could be potential supporters. So that's great. So having said that, Kevin, what has been your what have you found to be some of your great support since you've been on this journey? Because your show has been in existence for a little over 3 years now.
Uh-huh.
And who can you think of that has supported you right out the gate?
Good question. It would be a lot of my college friends. My
Mm-hmm.
college friends have supported me throughout the gate. Um, I'll say a group of people since this is their Founders Day. So I would say the Deltas at
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Michigan University.
Mm-hmm.
They are big supporters of me. I was their sweetheart king in college, so then therefore they do their best to support me in everything I do.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the big ones to like share my videos, share buy my books and all that kind of stuff. So I would say them plus the fact
Right.
that people, the black alumni of my college, are really big in supporting who I am.
Right. So when we just talked about support, I want to welcome all of you that are here with us today. Please share, like, and be sure to see us on our YouTube and share and like and ring that bell to support us. But also, while you're here, please go ahead and start a watch party because we really appreciate your support. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to chime in. Those of you that are business owners, authors, singers, or what have you, even those of you that want to come on the show, because I get a lot of requests to come on the show,
Yep.
please let us know right down below. And those of you that are here, go ahead and send us some hearts and some love. Send us something up, but also say, hey, everybody that are here with us right now, go ahead and send out a big fat hey to us, okay? So, Kevin, many times people say that life is like a chessboard.
hmm
And what I realize is because I play chess, you play chess?
I used to. I was taught how to play,
Uh-huh.
but it never really kept my attention. But I'll play every now and then.
You'll play every now and then. Okay, so you already know how the pieces are set up
Uh
and
huh.
what the pieces look like. So we're going to do a little trivia here for everybody that's watching us. And Kevin and I are going to do some trivia. So this right here, this piece right here, I found that this piece right here is the bishop.
hmm
And this takes me back to the thoughts of spiritual support.
hmm
So those of you that's with us, who is your spiritual support? You ever stop to think about who is your prayer warrior, who you call when you need somebody to pray for you or to pray with you or just to pray on your behalf or what have you? You ever thought about who is your prayer warrior? Who is your bishop? So I've named this one. And so who is your bishop? Who is your prayer warrior, Kevin?
Um, it will have to be uh Janita, who is like a sister to me. So whenever I need that prayer, I'll call her, or
Mm-hmm.
I'll call her so she'll pray for me while on the phone, or I'll just text and say, "Can you just say a prayer for me?" So that'll be the person I always go to.
Awesome,
What
sauce.
about you?
Definitely my mom, definitely my Aunt Lena, definitely Dr. Brooks, my sister, and one of my, oh, Denise. Denise. She's been one of my best friends for over 25 years. I always can lean on her. I can call her, and if I call her in the middle of the night and be like, "Can you come the next morning?" If not in a few hours, she'd be here from Chicago. And Dr. Willis, Marilyn Willis, I've always been able to lean on Dr. Willis as one of my prayer partners, and Dashina, and a good friend of mine that I was in the academy with, Janice. I'm not going to call her last name because she still works in uh, the 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 correctional facility. But Janice, she know who she is. We went through the academy together, and I would always pick up the phone and call her when we would have prayer together. So yeah, that's the prayer warrior. So I'm gonna hold up another one,
Okay,
right? And this one is for you to guess.
that's the rook, right?
The Rook. The Rook. So we know, for you chess players, we know that the rook can move like this
Mm-hmm.
or like this, right? Can go to side and jump as many spaces, if I'm not mistaken, as it possibly can, because I haven't played in a while. It can go this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can go this way. It
Right.
can go up and down and across.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we need the person who can move around us kind of to block us and shield us from certain things in our life. Not so much so that we don't learn lessons, but so much so that some of the pitfalls that they've fallen into, they're kind of guiding us away from those pitfalls.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, one of the people that guides me away from those pitfalls was my father
Mm-hmm.
and my mother, of course. And I have a couple uncles and aunts that have always taught me certain things about how to maneuver through life. And I have some older cousins too. I've watched their examples and they've shown me. I have a cousin named Sharon Jackson Little, and Teresa Bivens. They were like my idols growing up, and they showed me, how to kind of maneuver through life as I was coming up. And even now, it's just amazing to see how they continue to maneuver. And I don't see them all the time, and we don't talk all the time. But whenever I pick up the phone, if I need to talk to them about anything, I can talk to them. I've called them when I was overseas, and I'm like, hey, cuz, can you do such and such? And like that, it was done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing that sometimes people are watching you and they're using you for their guide to help them, and sometimes you don't even know it. So how about you, Kev?
Um, I think the obvious is my mom and my dad. They shield me. Especially my dad. He gave me the books to read to help
Hmm.
really change my mindset, how I see things, how I do things.
Hmm.
I just think because as a kid and a young adult, you pretty much are a recorder.
Hmm.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Status Network, Kevin speaking. Hello? Oh, they hung up. Well,
Okay.
anyway, so he gave me the books and tools that I needed to change, work on my mindset and my belief system. He also, without knowing, is the reason why I became more holistic.
Right.
Because that was just natural for him. So as I started to watch, as I grew up,
Hmm.
you know, becoming more holistic was more in tune with who I was, and that was because of him. My
Right.
mom was just, she's gonna protect me and try to give me the support system that I need. But then there's one other person. Um, I think I never really said this to her, but it's a cousin named by the name of Tracy Jones. She is the national director of the AIDS Health Foundation.
Hmm.
She's the chief executive officer of the AIDS Task Force of Greater Cleveland. Um, and I think without her knowing her journey, helped me with my journey
Yeah.
because she started off. She went to Kent State, got her degree in HR,
Hmm.
and was working in HR, and she decided that wasn't for her, and she wanted
Hmm.
to do HIV and AIDS. So she took a $10,000 pay cut
Hmm.
and
Wow.
became a AIDS health educator.
Hmm.
And most people wouldn't do that, but she knew what her vision was for herself, and so she couldn't care about how everybody else saw what she did because we so focused on
Right.
money a lot of times, and she said she knew it was a bigger picture. So she took the $10,000 pay cut and started at the bottom as an educator, and now
Hmm.
she's this big time, you know, uh, AIDS advocate, working for one of the biggest AIDS nonprofits,
Right.
and so just watching her journey, it helped me and what I'm doing mine. So yeah.
Awesome. So we have Kanan trying to join the show. So I'm trying to send him the information because he couldn't get in. But thanks. Hey, Sandra, Dr. Brooks just joined us. Hi. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And Dr. Brooks, since you're here with us, when you get a moment, please chime down below. Let us know, as we are talking about, what is your core objective for 2020?
Mm-hmm.
Who is your core? Who has supported you from above, from below, from beside, and who's got your back? Just chime in down below. And if any of our other guests come on in and tell us who is your core. Okay. So I'm going to try to get this to Kanan because he's really trying to get on with us.
Oh, yes.
And let's see. We have Keisha Moore here. Hi, Keisha. Good to see you. Keisha is also a fellow Delta. So let's clap it up for Keisha.
All right, all right, all right. Happy Founders Day.
So we're happy to have you with us today, Keisha. And as you know, the word of the day was core, and we use the core, the stomach, as a metaphor as to ask the question, who is your core? So we know with the stomach, we have the upper stomach, the lower stomach, the sides, okay, and our back. So who is your core? Who is above you that has your back? Who is below you that has your back, or who is your core? Who is walking side by side on this walk with you, and who definitely has your back? So please chime in below and let us know. We'd like to hear from you.
And, I was listening to something, and actually, it was something that I had noticed when I talked to a client today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think a lot of times we as people, we trying to do things for ourselves to elevate ourselves, and we don't have the proper
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
foundation.
Right.
Our foundation is shaky,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times our foundation begins and ends with us.
Right.
Um, and our, who we think we are, our belief system in ourselves, our confidence in
Right.
ourselves. Um, you know, uh, and I think if we're gonna do anything different in 2020, and
Yes.
if we want to elevate to the next level that we choose to,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing we need to do is, start with, creating a healthy, solid foundation
Right.
within ourselves. Because if you don't love yourself, if you're not confident in yourself, then how can you
Mm-hmm.
go and seek that woman for if you or
Right.
that man, for that next level of a relationship if
Right.
the relationship you have within yourself is not intact. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Um, if if you still are holding on to the baggage of your past, then that baggage of the past affects your
Mm-hmm.
self-esteem, it affects your
Yes.
self-worth, all that. So that still shows you are on shaky foundation. So
Right.
I would challenge people to um, work on getting the foundation solid first, and
Mm-hmm.
that means being willing to release and letting go the experiences of the past. You know,
Right.
because if you continue to hold on to it, that's going to leave you living in fear, living, having self-doubt, self-worth issues, and you could not elevate yourself with that. So that would be my challenge to everybody for 2020 as well.
Awesome. So we've got another piece, and some of you may be familiar with this piece. Anybody familiar with this piece that I'm holding up in my hand? Go ahead and put it down below, and we're going to give you guys a couple of seconds to put this piece. This is a chess piece, okay? Because really this is in the game of life. It's like a chess game, okay? And you have to know who your core players are. So does anyone know what piece this is? I know the Delta that's on with us. I know Keisha Moore should know. She's a Delta. Delta's a very smart women, so Keisha should know. Okay. This is the piece. So if you know what this piece is, okay, go ahead and tell me what this piece is. Kevin, do you know what that piece is?
I'm gonna even lie to you. I forgot what it is. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
It's been a while since I played, but I think I'm fair in saying that this is the night.
Oh yeah, sure
And
is.
the night moves in L-shaped
Right.
configurations, okay? It's a pattern, L-shaped configurations. And the L-shaped configuration pattern can move in L shapes throughout the board of your life. And sometimes we need those people not to stand directly in front of us all the time, but sometimes they need to go ahead of us
Mhm.
to make the way, to pave the way for us,
Mhm.
okay? Like Harriet Tubman did for so many, to pave the way for us, and then just to move over to give us the room that we need so that we can move forward and we can flourish. We
Mhm.
don't need them to stay right in front of us, but we just need them to pave the way. So, Kevin, who paved the way for you?
Hmm. Good question. I would have to actually say my cousin Tracy. Um,
Awesome.
just everything that I really look up to her. Um, I don't think she knows that, but I really look up to her. We've always been really close like that, but that's not something that we discuss in that type of sense. But I really look up to her, and I just think just watching her whole journey, how she did it, um, and then she moved over and she created her own lane and just gave me the room to do what I do, and to see us both doing our own things and we doing it very well.
Mhm.
Um, I attribute that to her. So that's what I would say.
So you say you haven't told your cousin Tracy yet. So all of y'all that want him to tell Tracy that he looks up to her, like that she is her his knight, put in tell her, tell her, tell her, tell her, tell her. And while you guys are typing in that tell her, Kevin, we have a couple comments. Angie said it's helpful to have core supports who can also assist your foundation, what you were alluding to. So that's a definite. And then we have Dr. Brooks. She says, yes, she knew what that piece is, the night. Angie said, yeah, it's the night. And oh, and then we got to tell her, Kevin, you got to tell her. And then Dr. Brooks says, so you are saying the night is a type of pioneer. Wow.
Hmm.
Very profound.
Good.
Very profound.
I love that. I love that.
So yes. Oh, and Keisha Moore said, "Tell her." Dr. Brooks said, "Tell her." Angie said, "Tell her." So everybody's telling you to tell her. So we challenging you by the next show. I'll have to check in with you, and if I forget, somebody remind me to see if he told her
I'm
that
I'm
she
a,
is
I'm
his knight, so
I-
to speak, or his
I'm a
pioneer.
caller tonight.
Oh, awesome, fantastic, and we're gonna hold you to it. And 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 the reason I say that too is because sometimes we have people who are doing such a magnificent job in our life, and we get so busy and we don't tell them. It's like giving them their flowers while they can smell them, giving them the accolade, because sometimes that one accolade can totally change the trajectory of their life and our lives too. So that's why it's critically important to do that.
I agree.
So Tracy Kincaid also said tell her, and we know that Tracy Kincaid is uh is a songwriter. She's got a new album out, or a new single out called Goals, and she also has a book out, When Warriors Talk, God Listens. So please don't sleep on Tracy Kincaid. But Tracy said tell her,
I would do
and you
that.
make sure you tell her because she might write a song about you. So thank you, Tracy. We appreciate you. And those of you that's with us, if you are an author, if you are a singer, if you are an influencer, if you are a life coach, whatever your calling is, if you have your own business, what have you, please put your information down below. Please let us know whatever books you have. I know for sure we got a couple of folks that's on us right now that I can see. We have two authors with us. We have a doctor with us. Please go ahead and put down your information for your books, your songs, and your YouTube so that we can definitely
And
support you and also
and what I would
support
y'all,
Kevin and I.
so
Mm-hmm.
I would ask of Dr. Brooks and Tracy if they would please put a picture of their book in the comment section and how people could purchase the book. I would greatly appreciate that as well.
Okay, fantastic. So now we're gonna pull out another chess piece.
Hmm.
And those of you that's just joining us, come on in, get on in here. We happy to have you. We are talking about core. Who is your core? What is your core? And what are your core objectives in 2020? So we've likened some of the core supporters in your life to chess pieces. And right now we're holding up some of the chess pieces, and Kevin and I, we play chess, but it's been a while for me. And Kevin, how long has it been for you?
Oh my God, a good. It's been a long time. It's like my dad taught me. He taught me and my
Mm-hmm.
brother, and
Mm-hmm.
I played when I was younger, but it never stuck with me. My brother played with him every week, but not
Mm-hmm.
me. I just watch.
Awesome. So it's been a while for me too. But I think some of our muscle memory has the best of us, so we're
Right.
remembering a lot of the pieces. So the next piece is this piece right here. So those of you that are familiar with this piece, please comment down below. Tell us what piece this is. And when you tell us what piece this is, please, someone call in if you want to and let us know how this piece affects you in your life, what this piece does for you. And you can call us at 470-251-4647. Again, 470-251-4647. Okay, I said 40 first, so pardon me. But you can look below and you can see the number. Call us and let us know what this piece is and how this piece plays on your chessboard of life as it pertains to your core. Who has you from above? Who has you from below? Who's walking the journey with you side by side? And who has your back? So I'm going to take a quick minute, Kev, to look and see if anyone knows what this piece is, and maybe they would want to share how this piece affects them.
Okay.
Okay, and we have Dr. Brooks. Thank you so much for putting in the website to get your book. The name of the book is The Pursuit of Purpose. And of course, oh, fantastic. Tracy R. Kincaid also put in her website, and you can go there and purchase her book as well. And I know both of the authors are willing to send you autographed copies. I'm not sure if they'll cost a little more for an autographed copy, but they're willing to do so. So if you're willing to give an autographed copy, please let us know if it costs a little extra, or if it doesn't, we'd be delighted to know. So thank you for both putting that there. And has anybody guessed what piece this is yet? This is the smallest piece on the board. Okay. So some of you guys may not be able to see it very well, but this is the smallest piece on the board. And these are frosted glass, so they're a little hard to see. Up, I see somebody already said it. I'm gonna give you guys another second before they say it. Kev, you know what that piece is yet?
No.
Don't say it. You know what that piece is yet?
Nope.
Okay, all right, okay. We got somebody that knows what this piece is. Anybody else? Okay. Angie said that this piece is a pawn.
Oh, sure
It's a
is.
pawn, and she would be correct. It's a pawn. Now, the pawn can only move forward. The pawn cannot move side by side like this. However, it can move that way, okay, across the board if it's taking another pawn or another piece. Other than that, it can move forward. And typically, coming out of the gate, it can move 2 spaces. But after that, it has to move 1 space at a time. And it reminds me of how we follow certain leaders in our lives and how we trail them. And it's imperative that our leaders don't get too far ahead of us sometimes, especially for those of us that may be lacking in confidence or lacking in the knowledge of how to go about the journey. And so those type of leaders in our lives often stay in pace with us. They're in front of us, guiding us, mentoring us, and sometimes sheltering us 1 step at a time. So, who was that for you, Kevin?
Wow. Um, that's a good one. I never thought about that one. I would have to say my mom.
Your mom.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She's that one, very protective, very she's gonna be there. She's gonna be right in front of me. She's gonna protect me, regardless of how old I am. She's gonna be right there. So that would be the person for me. What about you?
Awesome. My mom and my dad always guiding me and leading me. And then Yuki Elting also. I remember most recently I was with her and she kind of laughed and said, I don't know how to cut an orange.
Hmm.
And I was like, huh? And she told me this is how you cut the orange. And actually it's so funny because I used to be a salad chef years ago. I was probably a teenager then. I was like 17 or 18 and I raised my way up through the ranks. I actually started out as a dishwasher. And when I was preparing the oranges to go on the salad bar, the chefs taught me how to cut the orange properly. But I had forgotten about it. And sometimes the people that are leading us step by step have to bring those things back
Back
to
to
our
you.
memory
Yep.
so that we can do this thing again and stay in step. So Yuki Elting really helped me with that, and it took something so simple as an orange to make me realize, we need every part of our core folks on this journey
Hmm. We do.
because really get deep into it. Look at the nutrients and the vitamins that we get from something so simple as an orange. But
Hmm.
if we don't know how to get beyond the peel of something and get to the center of it where it would give us the most nourishment. Hey there, Kanan, where it would give us the most nourishment, then we really have a problem. And so sometimes it takes folks like that. So I see Kanan Harper. Do you see Kanan Harper anywhere?
No, I don't.
You don't. Okay, well, I see him for some reason. Hi, can you see me, Kanan? I can't hear you, but I can see you. Okay, so he may have brought me into his session, but I can't see him.
Okay.
But Kanan, if you would go ahead and type for me. Okay, Tracy Kincaid say good stuff. So thank you, Tracy. Kanan, tonight we are talking about core and what is your core objective for 2020 and how do people, your core people, help you and support you. So if you would just type something below, because unfortunately I can see you for some reason, but I can't hear you. So I'm wondering if the producer may have sent him a link to join us. So the next piece we have, Kevin,
Hmm.
are the last 2 pieces. And I am going to show this piece. Anybody know what this piece is?
That the queen.
Yes, yes, yes. This is the queen. This is the queen. He got it, y'all. But before we go on, we got someone that typed in. It says the pawn remains headstrong and looks ahead, knowing that if they work hard enough, they will get rewarded and move well up the ladder. Wow.
I like that. Who said that?
Angie said that.
Good,
Angie said
good
that.
one. I
And
like
that's a
that.
very powerful statement.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
I want to know how many people here, how many of you have been the pawn? How many of you have, whether it be at your job or at your house, and now we're talking about a pawn in a good way, not a pawn in a negative way, okay? How many of you have had to move study forward so that maybe your coworkers who weren't getting raises, who weren't getting recognized, could kind of stay in footstep with you, and eventually they were able to get to where they were going because they followed your lead? How
Yep.
many of you on here ever experienced that? Throw me some throw me some me's up, put me down in there if you've ever been that pawn. And then if you haven't been that pawn that led the way and you were the follower, that you thank God that they were there to move step by step to show you the way. How many of you were following them and they helped you to get to where you were going? And if that's you, say, it was me, it was me, it was me. So I got me for a long time and finally promoted. So Angie said for so long, she was following someone else's lead. She was following their footsteps. And then she finally got promoted. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. So Kevin, has that ever happened to you where you were following someone and you finally made it?
Um, Good question. I would say, yeah. I was in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had moved there to work at Blue Cross,
Mm-hmm.
and a friend of mine, she was like
Mm-hmm.
the ahead of me. We was in the same
Mm-hmm.
department, and
Mm-hmm.
so I followed her lead. And as she got promoted,
Mm-hmm.
with me following her lead and doing the
Right.
move how she moved, I
Mm-hmm.
ended up replacing her in her position.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Wow.
from there, they created another position similar to
Mm-hmm.
hers, and then I moved to that one. So if
Awesome.
it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have got to where I was at that time.
Well, now. So awesome. I got a request. Someone's asking me to invite them. So give me a minute. Let me go ahead and invite them. And those of you that have experienced that, I see some me's. Dr. Brooks said me. Okay. Dr. Brooks said me. So thank you for that as well. And Kevin, this is a question that I have for us.
Hmm.
Did following someone who was strong help you to be strong? Did following someone strong help you to be strong?
Absolutely.
And how? And how?
Absolutely. I say it all the time. I follow the lead of my father, and we talked about it. Me and my buddies talked about it Friday, because we was
Mm-hmm.
like talking about. I told them the date of the next men's roundtable, and
Mm-hmm.
you could tell if you watch the show, you could tell those who had father figures in their lives and those
Right.
who did not. And because there's a certain amount of confidence level that
Mm-hmm.
the men have when the father is present. And so for me, my father has always been a strong man. He always
Right.
been a very spiritual guy. So every essence of who I am as a person, it came from him.
Right.
Good, bad, and indifferent. Because some things that I am about, who I am, you know, it could be a plus or a positive and a negative. I'm very not the most emotional guy, which could be good in certain instances, but on the other side, it's not as good because a lot of people don't understand, or people might feel that they don't know if I care about them or not. So that's one thing that I learned from him, but I also know it's a positive and a negative. But I don't regret anything that I do, how I become, because I follow a great person in him.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so I just got a hit from the Philippines, so I
Hmm.
just had to check in with that person and go ahead and welcome them. So hey, Kanan, thank you for joining us. Alicia, thank you for joining us. Kentura, thank you for joining us. Laite, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And Jeff Martinetti, thank you for joining us. And Jeff Martinet is the owner and CEO of Make Every Second Count. So we are happy to have you. And if I said that wrong or anything like that, please correct me down below. And also, Jeff, I know that you're going to be speaking in North Carolina. I believe it's coming up on the 18th of this month. Please put the information down below, Jeff, so that people can maybe purchase tickets and come out and support you, because I think you're going to be speaking in North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. So please, we want to support Jeff Martinet. He is the CEO of Make Every Second Count. He does phenomenal work, bringing great people to us to talk to us about wonderful uh, opportunities and wonderful topics on a weekly basis. So thanks, Jeff. Please hit us down below. We really appreciate you for joining us. And Laite, all the way from Japan. We have Kentora Suzuki from Japan. We have Alicia Aragon Carlson is watching. Thank you. And Kanan Harper, all the way from Chi-Town. Isn't Kanan from Chi-Town?
He's in Indiana,
Detroit.
but he's from Detroit though.
Detroit.
He's from
That's right.
Detroit. And if Kanan is
Detroit.
listening, please put your book information in the comment section as well, too, please.
Yes, and put all three of your books, because I'm aware that you have three books, if I'm not mistaken. And definitely put that first book that you wrote. It's a very powerful book. It's very inspirational, especially for those who are raising young children, particularly young men who are having some troubles, staying on the straight and narrow. And it's just a phenomenal book that will help them kind of overcome some of their desire to kind of be out hanging out on the street or getting themselves into trouble. It will give them a guideline of kind of how to stay away from that. So if you could, Kanan, put those three books in, please, and we really appreciate you for doing
So,
so. So
Lotus,
Jeff has also put his website, so please go to Jeff's website. Jeff is a phenomenal speaker, and he'll be speaking in North Carolina on the 18th of this month, if I'm not
Lotus, I have a
mistaken.
question for you.
Yes.
So, what is your vision for you for 2020?
My vision for
Mm-hmm.
2020 for me,
Yes, ma'am.
my vision, Stacy Millsap. Hi, I just want
Hey,
to catch
Stacy.
Stacy first because she's there. She said, "I'm just joining the conversation and the information is great so far." Thank you, Stacy. And Stacy, if you're a business owner, if you have a book, whatever you do, please put it down
So,
below so that
so,
our other viewers
so,
can
so,
snatch onto
so,
it
let me
and
say something. Let me say something
get
right
that in.
quick.
Go
Since
ahead.
Stacy Millsap is my cousin, she's
Hmm.
like a cousin sister. So my father is like a father figure to her and her sister. So we always grew up very close, and what I've always respected with her is her drive and tenacity to be the best version
Right.
of her she is. So I that's another person I secretly look up to,
Hmm.
and try to model my life behind because she went to college, she got her master's degree, she teaches, plus she does social work. So that's similar. It's a similar vein of how I'm now going into. So I've always watched how she moved. So since she's watching and listening, I would like to publicly say that that's one person I also use as a support system that made me help become who I am.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so my vision for 2020 is to continue to reach out to our viewers and help them help themselves, as I always say, to ignite and take flight, to be better than you were yesterday as you move to your ever pressing tomorrows. I would like to help people in one-on-one counseling, group counseling, being able to go out and speak. As many of you know, Kevin and I are embarking on a wonderful trip along with Dr. Brooks and Fua Giadam. She is Canada. Uh, we are linked together with a association in Africa, Ghana actually, and we are going to Ghana. We're taking several speakers with us, authors with us, and definitely we have the mighty Queen, who is the creator and writer of the play called Canvas. We are all going over, and of course, Tracy R. Kincaid is also going with us as well. We are going over to empower, educate, and just love on people and give them some of the knowledge that we have and embrace their knowledge as we go. So that's one of the biggest things that I want to do in 2020 is to help people every way that I can through my endeavors. And as you know, Kevin will be doing a spin course, and we're going to be doing that. We're going to be traveling throughout the nation, helping people to get fit. And that's a part of what I want to do in 2020, get more physically fit. With the help of Angela Elting, I've started a yoga. So I've started doing yoga every evening.
Okay.
And some mornings I do yoga. And actually, not too long before the show, after I got off doing my work today, I actually did yoga before dinner. So those are just some things that we're looking to do. And I say we're because Kevin is a huge part of a lot of my goals for 2020, but also to write two books in the earlier part of this year.
Okay.
And I'll be going on a speaking tour as well. Kevin already knows I'll be speaking in a couple different cities. I'll be speaking in Las Vegas. Um, I'll be in Ohio doing a workshop there. I'll be in New York. I'll be in Atlanta. So I welcome you all to reach out and support me. And if you have any ideas of things that you would like me to speak about during my platform, please let me know because what you think and how you feel is really super important. And it's your voice that can also help somebody else, one, stay alive and stay empowered and moving forward. So that's some of my vision. And it's a lot to say in one breath. But as you know, Kevin, we are influencers and we're here to make a difference on this earth.
So yeah, like you said, I'm looking forward to the Africa trip. I'm very excited about that, and the opportunity to go across the country and speak to people and be an influence to them. As like you said, really growing the coaching
Yes.
platform, one-on-one and group coaching. Thank you to my new clients that started off the new year for me. I really
Yes.
appreciate you. Um, uh, I'm really going to focus on also my YouTube page
Mm-hmm.
to really, put that out there. Like she said, I'm gonna, do the tour of teaching some spin classes. I've already reached out to a couple cities. I still know, believe Baltimore will be number one. That I plan on
Mm-hmm.
going. So whenever I'm talking to her, to Lotus about the dates. But it's
Yeah.
gonna probably be spring or summer because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going nowhere up north in the wintertime unless I
You're not
have.
scared of the cold, are you, Kev?
I'm scared of the cold right now, but that I do plan on going to Baltimore. I would love to go to DC. Um, I definitely will go home to Cleveland. I already know a place I would like to do it at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and actually, when I do go to Cleveland, um, my buddy Bruce is planning on going with me,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to actually tape um, another version of a men's roundtable discussion. Um, he
Awesome.
he's an alpha, so he's gonna reach out to the alphas in Cleveland. A lot of my family are Qs in Cleveland, so
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna try to get them all together. And I believe the topic is going to be about fraternities, and
Awesome sauce.
if fraternities are still relevant and important to us in this new day and age, like it was back in the day. So,
So Keisha, I'm
um,
sorry. Go ahead, Kev.
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
So Keisha Moore is a Delta. So Keisha, if you're still with us, go ahead and let your folks know that Kevin will be hosting a roundtable when he goes out to Detroit. And we don't want just one fraternity, we want them all. So let your brothers know that we're coming to Detroit and we
Yeah.
love their involvement. And they can contact Kevin directly right
Mm-hmm.
here at 470-251-4647 on the Kevin Thornton
Yeah.
Wellness Architect
Yeah,
Show if they want to be a part of it.
thank you for saying that. And also, I do, but I will challenge. Not gonna say challenge. I do want participation, especially when I go to Detroit because that's where I went to college at in that area. So I would like to see the alphas. I would like to see the Qs. I would like to
Mm-hmm.
see the kappas, and I would like to see the sigmas all be able to come together. Let's have a conversation. Um,
Yes.
and it don't even have to be about the fraternity itself and it was still relevant, but how can we use their platforms of being in fraternities to empower our community? Okay.
Exactly. And to our friends in Japan that chime in, we have Laite and Kintara and Alicia. I'm sorry, Alicia's not from Japan, but we have Laite, Kintara, and a plethora of other supporters. We would also like to invite our Japanese male counterparts to chime in when we have the roundtables because
Hmm.
your input is definitely essential because we are bringing inspiration to every nation and
And
we
I would
want
like
to
to
hear
say,
input from all men.
and I would like to
And
say, I would love to go to Japan and teach a spin class. So if they know
awesome.
any places there that I could probably go there and teach a class, and me and Lois could go there and I could do a class and then we could have like an empowerment session. That's something I would love to do as well. So if those listening from Japan, if they have any ideas, please reach out to Lotus or myself.
And I'm going to say this to our audience. Some of the folks that are joining us from Japan are actually on the rugby team, the women's rugby team. So we challenge the men's rugby team to join us on our show because the Japan rugby team women, they are phenomenal. If you ever get a chance to go and see them, please go see them and please support them in the 2020 Olympics because they have made the grade to play in the 2020 Olympics. Again, that is the Japanese female rugby team will be playing in the 2020 Olympics and the men too. So please support the men and support the women. Okay, but right now I'm speaking to the Japanese women from the rugby team because they're on with us. Several of them actually belong to the team. So please support them. Okay, and if you can't travel to Japan at this time, go ahead and become acquainted with some of the players and send them your love virtually so that they know that they have support right here from the USA.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as we get ready to be down to our last 7 minutes,
Mhm.
what would you like to say to the audience before we get ready to shut it down?
I would like to say hi to Denise because she's just joined us. I would like to say hi to Larry. And we have one more piece before we go.
Hmm.
Thanks, Denise, for joining us. We appreciate you. She's a retired Navy, so thank you so much. Thank you, Larry. Larry says, hello, everyone. I love you all. And he was having bad connection, but wanted to make sure he got with us. And Jeff Martinetti said, yes, Charlotte, North Carolina, January 18th. He will be with Les Brown. He'll be with Les Brown speaking, and tickets are available at www.createyourbestlife.net. And I digress. It's www.createyourbestlife.net. And he'll be with Les Brown speaking in Charlotte on January 18th. So please check him out for tickets. And the last thing I want to say is the last piece. of who might be your core. This piece, does anybody know what this last piece is? If so, chime down below. Love you too, Denise. Appreciate you. Chime down below if you know what this piece is. If you know what this piece is, chime down below. And I'm going to tell you what this piece is. If Kevin don't know. What's this piece,
It's the king, right?
It's the king. See, I'll let Kev say this because Kev is the king of the show. Okay?
Yes.
He the king of the show. So you gotta have somebody. You gotta be you're the king or queen of your own life. And you have to set your intentions and objective for 2020. And you gotta move like a king. You gotta move like a queen. In short, you gotta move like a boss. And you can join us here every Monday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Kevin Thornton Wellness Architect Show. I'm Lotus Riche with Lotus Riche Ignites Life Coaching and Consulting. Kevin and I both do one-on-one coaching. We also do group coaching. We also will be hosting in the future, and we're doing it now, roundtable discussions. So if you have something that you want to discuss or that you need some help with, please do not hesitate. Contact us. There's no discussion too big or too small where we can't help you. And you can go right to www.lotusricheignites.com. Go to my website. You can go to my YouTube, Lotus Riche Ignites. You can go to my Facebook and meet me every week when I'll be hosting a new person every week talking about real issues for real concerns. But most importantly, meet us right here every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. on the Kevin Thornton Wellness Architect Show. We love helping you, and we love that you're a part of the show, and we can't thank you enough. And also, if you want to support us, also look, Kevin has a PayPal that he'll be happy to share with you, and I have a PayPal I'll also be happy to share with you as we go, because we had a couple people contact us and say, hey, I want to support you. Where could I send support to? Because we know it costs you guys money to put on the show, and yes, it does cost us money to put on the show, but guess what? You're worth it.
That they are, and I'm very appreciative of those who reached out to us to ask those questions. So yes, if you want to know the information, I do have PayPal and also Cash App information for the Wellness Architect Show, and I can put that in the comment sections later on today. For me, I just want to say thank you for everybody to watch the show, tune in the show, from Japan to Cleveland to New York, all over. I truly appreciate you. Once again, we are accepting clients. Both Lotus and I are accepting clients. So feel free to inbox me on my Facebook or Instagram page, and I will get back with you on that. Because I believe everybody should have a life coach, and you need to do something different, to get different results in 2020. And a lot of times, the reason why you're not getting where you want to go is because you're in your own way. And so therefore you need that person who's going to help you, get the roadblocks out the way so you can create the best version of yourselves, mind, body, and spirit. With that being said,
Kev,
ma'am.
we have a person named Elisa Fugate from California wanting to say hello to us. She just joined. She let us know she is watching. So thank you. I didn't want to pass her by. Oh, and Linda Sheehan Bolton is watching. Thank you, Linda. We appreciate you. Kamala Robinson, Kanan. So thank you, everybody that's chiming in. Thank you so much. And if you missed the show, hit us up on replay and start a watch party.
Exactly. And please share the show. Let everybody notice it. But I want you all to, ladies, if you're watching, I want you to mark this date down, but also let the men in your lives know about this date. Mark it down. Kanan, mark this date down. January 27th, the last Monday of January, will be the second installment of the men's roundtable discussion. They've been asking for a date. We gave them. Now here's the date: January 27th, 7 to 9 p.m. It's going to be going down again. What I want to tell you before we shut it down is I saw a couple of the guys that was on the round table discussion, and they wanted me to tell you. They said thank you. Um, they said after they rewatched the show and saw themselves on the show again, it really helped change um, their lives, and they want to. They starting to do some things differently because of how they saw them. Not that they saw themselves in a negative light, but they saw there was some things they learned about themselves that they could do differently, and so that show really affected them. And a lot of people was watching the show, and they said they was getting really good towards the end, and then we had to cut it off. So we vowed to hit it running on January 27th. So mark the date. Tell your ladies, you listen for yourselves, but also tell the men in your lives to make sure they tune in and watch the show as well.
And send us your questions, because we keep getting people, like Kevin just said, that's saying, oh my God, when you guys got into it, it started getting really real right there. So send us your questions. Send us your questions of things you want us to discuss, and we will make it happen.
And ladies, we have not forgot about you. Uh, we just want to get this past the second installment of the men's roundtable, and so in the month of February, uh, we'll have the ladies. I'm gonna let Lotus run that. I'll be the only male figure in the presence, but it's gonna be something that I think that the women wants to have. They've been asking for it, so that's gonna be Lotus's baby. So she's gonna let me know the date. She says she wants to be here present when that happens. So
Yes.
let's make it happen. So ladies, we have not forgotten about you. It will go down, and as soon as we get the date, we will let you know so you can mark it down, and also tell the men in your life to mark it down as well, because that'll be opportunity for them to see you all in a different light as well. So please tune in. My intent is to rebrand the narrative of how society and media showcase and see us. So, and with that rebranding, we need you guys to share the videos, participate as much as you can, so we can help change the narrative of how people see us. Um, and with that being said, I just want to say thank you again. We love you. We appreciate you. I will be telling my cousin this evening when I get off here how she has affected my life in this journey. So when I see y'all next week, I will have her to tell. I will tell y'all the conversation. So
Awesome.
thank you guys for being, for listening, but also being a challenge to both me and Lotus to be to constantly elevate ourselves so we can be better versions for you guys. So thank you so much. Thank you, Lotus. I appreciate
My
you.
pleasure.
I love you.
I
And
love you back.
and with that being said, be great, be authentic, be unapologetically you, and we're out. Peace.
Good night, and thanks.